I'm back. Made my coffee. Unpin this message. Okay. Alphino and Alice, what do you have to say? It's good to be back amongst friends, not to mention my dear sister. I have not seen her for some time, but I gather she is keen to press on with our plans as I am. And you've seen quite a lot of the first yourself now, more than enough to appreciate the scale of the obstacles we face. Let us lay our discoveries before the XR can discuss what must be done. I should eat food. Yummy. Thank you for seeking me out, Ryugo. It meant a lot to have you there at my side. And looking at Alphino, I'd say he's as eager to begin this discussion as I am. I say we lay our experiences before the XR can step back to see what kind of picture they make. Then we can decide where to go from there. He glitched for like a second.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin-Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin-Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist.
So kill the Light Wardens.
Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmul might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin-Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity.
Are you sure that eliminating the Wardens will be enough? Is my VPN on?
Your uncertainty is understandable given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
Okay. It is not on. I wanted to make sure of that. Oh? Hello?
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds.
Is that because of Final Fantasy XIV?
This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source.
Okay.
And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities.
What is going on with this guy's, like, skin?
7 times
It's
has
covered
a
in
calamity
asbestos.
befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
So the first would be the 8th to fall. And they're all different, like, aspects.
At present, the light-drowned realm of the first stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin-Eaters who are to blame for the light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Northrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the first and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the
Grab
interruption,
it.
my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements.
Toolmaster switch.
They say the Sin-Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Love the harpsichord. I don't like what my hair is doing recently. I become more self-conscious about it when I like see the camera too. I need to cut, but I don't know what I want. Just stop worrying about it. Muster Switch is in the north of Lakeland, so we need best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Ascensor Gate, and I shall lead you there myself. Fort Job? Yeah, I haven't been to any of these places yet. The Light Wardens. Good morning. How are you on this day? How's the rest of dinner? Oh, we didn't stay much longer after y'all left. We were kind of like wrapping up anyway, right? I think we left like 5 or 10 minutes later. I don't know, I'm always surprised by how quickly it goes at Olive Garden. I get like full so quickly. It's because of the breadsticks. It's because of the breadsticks and the endless salad. How was your campaign last night? Shot me while my hand was busy with coffee. Pop trap. Pop trap. So good. You didn't miss much, but the thing you did miss was that someone had been a spy the entire time, and you called that from the beginning. Nice. So it wasn't even a surprise to you. Like someone in the party was a spy? Yeah? That's cool. Are they defeated? Have they been dispatched? They claimed they were only spying because he was spy or die. Spy or die. Faye, before you got on, something happened in this game that was so, like, depressing and like horrifying that I was like, man, I should stop playing today. It was I don't know, it was like the caretaker woman, like Telsine or something, getting like killed and turned into a Sin Eater. And it was like by far the most disturbing sequence this game is like put in front of me. No, it was before the dungeon. It was I think I'm on the way to a dungeon. It was like in the, like, you know, find Alice stuff. There was like a camp for people that were like, I'm sick and I'm gonna get killed because I'm turning into a horrible monster. And then there was like a little quiet dragon boy who wandered off, and then she got like transformed, and it was disgustingly detailed and horrifying and extremely depressing. I don't want to think about it anymore. The Crystal Exarch. All set. If we follow this road north, we shall arrive at the northern staging point. The village lies not far beyond. Quickly now. I've seen some people running around with like a Dragon Quest slime hat. Apparently there's like an event going on right now and I want to go get the slime hat. Oh shit. I didn't even notice that on the ground. I'm too zoomed in. I'm moving slow. Heavy. I'm heavy. Heavy weapons guy. Yeah, the cutscenes have gotten a lot better. And because of that, the bad things happen and it's gotten a lot worse. They're talking about Light Wardens now. Like, kill the Light Wardens and the Sin Eaters won't be a problem anymore. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Lord Vol 3 is like a Light Warden. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say he's like a creature of the light. Yate Tivo. I slurp up the Aether Current. I don't know, he's got away with them, he hangs out with them, he does horrible things when no one's looking that's probably, eating people. He's got like a weird little face where his armpit should be. I don't know, guy's a freak. I'm looking for a reason to kill him, basically. I can't believe I asked you that question about the context of the picture, and you're like, oh, Shadowbringers, and like literally the next time I play the game, it's like, here's that character. I cannot believe that. They have gremlins in the game! They're just called gremlins? You can... I thought gremlin was like a copyright word. You can't call them that. If I'm remembering right, I think like the first 2 or 3 Final Fantasy games in the original versions have a bunch of like monsters that are like just taken from D&D handbooks, like Beholders or something, and they like had to change the name in like remakes and later versions of the games. But they can use Gremlin. But thanks for coming out last night, yeah. It was good. Kristen had a good time. The XIV. Old Mr. Switch is past his gates and through the woods. It's not exactly a near neighbor to the Crystarium. I love this song. I have to like stop whenever they play the song. As we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we've seen in recent years. We did our best to excavate or evacuate the villagers, but as many as half remain. Judging by the number of eaters present, we have a good reason to believe that a Light Warden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a warden sooner than expected. One does not simply slay a warden. No one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends. Is it like a nuclear explosion? They hold more light inside of them than all their underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Vile aether will billow outwards and envelop the nearest living being. A reckless young swordsman woman, perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Ah, well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guards stand down and allow us to engage this leader of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. Well, this guy's like crustified. We must save every life we can. What if... He's got a plan. Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch if you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well. Then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the Leveliers, Captain Lina, and last but not least, that guy. Punch. Formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Is there... Can he absorb the Light Warden and it's okay? Can he do that? Because his body is like 90% rock candy? The instance dungeons encountered in subsequent main scenario quests can be completed solo, alongside a part... So this is where they introduced the solo dungeons, initially, like from here on. And they retroactively added it to the previous ones. Man, if I had to wait for queue times for every previous dungeon I did by myself, I would probably still be waiting. So I can talk to any of them, or I can talk to this like I have been. But now that like this is an official feature that's not retroactive, it's like you can just form a party. Oh wait, I can choose.
Very well.
Oh.
Very well.
Let's give it our all.
My strength is yours.
Let's give it our all. Leave this to me. Leave this to me.
Huh.
Let's give it our all. Leave this to me.
Well, now I'm gonna feel bad for leaving someone out. Don't make me do that.
Leave this to me.
Sorry, Alice, but I'm going with Captain Lena. I'm gonna see Alice for the rest of forever. I don't know. The next time I'll see Captain Lena.
Very well.
Anyway, and then I click register for duty. There'll be plenty of options for Alice later in the future. I don't know how often I'm gonna see Captain Lena again. I'll choose the more obscure characters whenever given the chance, I guess. Ooh, listen to the music. Oh, the bear. Oh, she killed the bear. And now I have to kill the bear. I fucking hate this. I don't want to do that. Ah. This dungeon is good, but you always get the worst healer when you come here. She turned it into a polar bear. I need to update my key bindings and my rotation now that I'm in Shadowbringers. I'll do that after I play today. Hey, you know what's interesting is, at the beginning of Stormblood, when I got to Hingashi, I bought, like, a really expensive armor set and wore it, like, almost the entire time. And now that I'm, like, in Shadowbringers, whenever the game gives me the coffers through the plot, and I open the coffer, it's giving me just, like, more powerful versions of that same armor set. So I'm wearing the same thing as I was before. It's probably just like the best like range DPS armor for like Stormblood or something. I just bought it because I thought it looked cool. They say that the real endgame is glamorous. I mean, what's left to do after you complete all the MSQs and like done all the extreme dungeons and done all the raids and whatever, right? You become fashionable. That's all you can do. It's also getting easier to do that because the outfits have been getting better as the game goes on. Some of those low-level early A Realm Reborn outfits were pretty fugly. But basically everything I get now isn't bad. There's a couple that aren't to my liking, but there's nothing that I've gotten, like, or seen recently that's, like, bad. I think the Black Mage outfit I got through like the Black Mage job quest or whatever at like level 80, it was a little fugly because it was like a little overdone, I think, but besides that they've all been good. What is this? Umbral Soul. That's new. I need to figure out Umbral Soul apparently. I don't think I'm at a level, like, I don't think this dungeon is a level where I can use it. Hey, a question. So like every expansion is like the post-content patches that like lead to the next expansion, right? Are the post-Endwalker patches done? Like, are they done now and the next thing is just, like, Dawn Trail? Or is it like there could be more, like, Endwalker post-game patches? She doesn't activate Dance Partner? I can't even be disappointed because I don't know what Dance Partner is. If you tell me what it is, I might be disappointed. Final post-Endwalker post-game is done. How long ago did that happen? Like, do you know when it's the last one? I hate when the enemy I was targeting disappears halfway through casting and then the cast stops, even if I've like retargeted another enemy. The dancer ability that increases her damage and the party member it's placed on by 10%, so she should have it on you if anything. Yeah, let's find out what the Endwalker music sounds like, the boss music. Orbs. What are these orbs? Probably want to get away from them. Oh shit! I don't know if you know the guy we killed, so it was pretty obvious it was coming to an end. Like, there was a specific character that, like, you got, and it's like, okay, we're done now. Despair. I don't think I've used Despair yet. Oh boy. That's a lot of pizza. Oh my god, not that way. That's what I meant. Don't move out of the circle. Okay. Oh my god. Get me out of here, Scoob! I don't quite know what a Despair does either. I gotta figure out Despair. There's a lot of things to figure out right now. ABF, always be figuring. I don't like that. I can't tell if the orbs are like specifically oriented a certain way. I guess you don't find out till they like lay out their tracks. Wah, wah, wah. Bye bye. Bye bye. Do I have Xenoglossy yet? I don't think so. Let's see. No, that's level 80. So, soon. What's special about Xenoglossy? Switch Gremlin. Read Despair before you continue, Goober. Right now? I was gonna do it after the dungeon. Well, after I kill these guys, okay? Not in the middle of battle. I guess I'm not in much of a rush, but I'll check it out. Yeah, they bring the shadows. Because actually, in a subversion of normal video game tropes, light is bad now. It's instant cast and big damage. Your favorite game trailer of all time. Oh wait, yeah, I have to see what this attack does. Hold on. Where is it? Despair. Deals fire damage with a potency. Grants Astral Fire 3. Can only be executed under the effect of Astral Fire. Okay. Understood. So be it. You left another stream to join this one? No one's ever done that before. You thought all of those rocks were sheep? Those aren't rocks or sheep. Those are cocoons. Those are cocoons of like creatures being turned into monsters. There's like light vampires, and they turn you into a cocoon, and then you turn into one. I assume you're working from home today if you have the liberty of watching this nonsense. What class am I playing right now? BLM. Black Mage. Your chest still hurts. Oh, so you're not working. Did you take the day off again? Forgiven disobedience. I'm really interested in these gremlins. I'm the first person to realize that. You're still working. Crabberang like boomerang? Oh my god. I thought it was just orange spelled wrong. Crab-orang? That's much easier to say than crab-orang. Orang. I remember you were dropping hints about like boomerang characters like recently too, and I just didn't pick up on it. You were like talking about characters that had boomerangs. If it was orange, it would be orange crab. I mean, not necessarily. I don't think crab is that predictable. The adjective could go anywhere. Always keep them guessing. You know, I tried something for the first time this morning. I tried Biscuitville for the first time this morning. I had never had Biscuitville before. I didn't know there was one nearby. But there's one nearby. I guess it is new? Or I've just never been there? It was fine. It was totally fine. I got my earrings. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get like one of the round tables so we could like chat like everyone, but we got like the rectangle table, so like it got split into two groups. Which is always a little sad when that happens, but kind of unavoidable. Despair? I lay down my ley lines. The last time we went to Olive Garden before that, we got the big round table, and I love the big round table. I think every table that's fitting many people should be round. Like, square tables are only convenient in the sense that the shape of the room is a square, because we make all our rooms squares. What is Mason's partner's name? Ryan. His name is Ryan. He's a really cool guy. I think there is an element of maybe like shyness because he's around a lot of people he doesn't know, but he's a really cool guy. Wait. Oh. Yeah, this is upsetting, and I want to quit the game right now. I think I want to close the game out and never play again. I'm just gonna like pretend I don't see it. You were worried you spoiled it? Oh, I figured that you just said that because, like, it's been a long time since you played and you probably forgot, like, where that cutscene happened, but... no, she's here too. And I hate this. And I'm upset that they're making me do this. Deepest lore? There was an extremely visceral, horrifying cutscene where a character got turned. And it was very upsetting, and now they're here. I mean, yeah, like turnt is a funny word, but it's also like accurate, right? That's like what you say when like a vampire like a vampire gets you turnt. The vampire gets you turnt, right? Turned. Right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Pretty sure that's right. I'm gonna keep saying that. I mean, what else would a vampire do? Whoa! You put your blue right on my ley lines, that pisses me off. Look, it's the Olympics. They made the Olympics. I'm way over here. I'm like in the wrong spot. I don't know what this 1, 2, 3, 4 is supposed to do. Oh, the attack order. Oh, that's unfortunate. The turnt order. That's the order in which we're gonna get turnt. You think turnt is when you've had too much to drink. Like blood. If you group up, it's an ouchie. Why the fuck were the rest of the NPCs grouping up then? I got close to them because I thought like, oh, they're grouping up, I should group up too. Well, we didn't die, so no harm, no foul. Turnt is what happens when a vampire drinks too much blood. Happens to, like, the vampire, and it happens to the person that was sipped from. Your eyes tell the tale. Well, I'm gonna go vomit now. And then cry, and then shit. I can't wear that. Had to yell to Christian about your choice of words. Well, it's certainly a choice. We were seconds too late. Wow, Shadowbringers sucks. It's making me feel sad and emotional in ways that I wasn't feeling before. I don't want games to make me feel or think. I want to mindlessly press buttons until time disappears and I turn 90. Why would the angels do this? You play Bayonetta, you know why. I'm being facetious. This is actually great. This is actually the best the game has been by a large margin. Which is usually what I say 5 minutes after the last time I said it when I play this game, because it generally has been getting better the whole time. With some exceptions in Stormblood, where it like dipped for a bit. I'm very anxious right now because the email that's like, your code was great, we're gonna interview you, or your code sucked, actually you suck, it could come any second now, and I keep like looking at the like little blue, oh god, another blue thing on my inbox, what's it say? Oh! Congratulations on reaching the next step in the Alpha Site's interview process. As part of your next round, we would like you to complete a technical assignment in your own time. Before completing the assignment, we would like to schedule a 30-minute interview with a member of our team, the nature... Okay, I'll read the rest of that later. Okay, that's good. My friends are done. Oh my god, they're fighting. They went on. Sorry, Alphano, Alice, I was reading about potential future, opportunities. I had no more enemies had spawned. I saw the blue light on my inbox and I was like, oh no. It's kind of confusing because there's two companies right now that I'm like talking to, and one of them's like, do this technical assignment and if you pass it we'll interview you, and the other one was like, we're gonna interview you, and if you pass, we'll give you a technical assignment. So the one that interviewed me first is now saying, okay, you passed the interview, you can do the technical assignment. But the one I'm really waiting on is the one where I already did the technical assignment. That's the one I want to know about more right now. I don't mind the technical assignments much, because the alternative is someone stares at you while you solve code riddles under like a microscope, and they're like judging you, and you have like 30 minutes to solve this like esoteric riddle. And like, I hate that. 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 It's by far like the worst part of like job searching in this field. It's like I do not work well under those conditions, with like someone over my shoulder, like scrutinizing every keystroke in word I say. So a lot of jobs have been moving to the model where they give you a take-home assignment instead, and I vastly prefer that. They take longer to do, but they don't make me feel like I'm like under pressure and gonna vomit, like I'm dying. So that email is good news, but it's not the good news I was specifically like waiting for. But it's also not the bad news I was dreading. So we're okay. Another boss arena. I hate all forms of assessment prior to interviews. I do too. In general, I don't think most industries should do it. With coding though in particular, I get it, because there are a lot of people who like will do a 20-minute like Python tutorial online and then be like, I know Python now. And then the job's like, well, we have to, you know that that's not what's going on here. It makes more sense specifically in my field, but in general, I'm against it. A lot of jobs like give weird like IQ tests and personality tests that are like bullshit ways of like excluding certain people if they want, and I'm totally against that. I applied for a job like 3 weeks ago, and they had me take like a 30-minute IQ test basically, where it's like, what comes next in the pattern, and it's like weird shapes and shit. And then they had one where it's like, it showed faces, and it's like, what emotion is this? Happiness? Despair? Anxiety? And it's like, I don't know. Why is this happening? Dude, this is a very cool looking area. If it wasn't under siege by the Warriors of Light and like the bright vampires, this would be a great place to live. Philia, Light Warden. Shadowbringers very much like feels thematically like Bayonetta, which is a weird thing to say because that game is nothing like this. I think I'm just saying that because of the designs of the Sin Eaters and the Light Wardens. Seems to be bosses, and you get like a way. As long as I'm on the edge, it's okay. It seems that the Light Wardens have a different battle theme than the like normal bosses. Ow. I'm like locked, help me, ow, ow, help me, ow. Get me out of here, get me out of here, get me the fuck out of here. Ow. Could I have avoided that? That came out really quickly. I guess he's like... I'm getting like tossed around. He like flagged the attack with his body before the pizza showed up, which I feel like is new. I guess I gotta watch for their bodies now. Yeah, get used to that. Okay. I mean, that's kind of a good thing. The pizza aspect became a little like mindless after some part. It like incentivized me to actually like look at the game and what's happening. He's winding up. What does that mean? Gonna swing that way? Oh, tail attack. I just wasn't paying attention that time. I'm having a hard time outrunning his attacks. There we go. He's gonna make the full circle happen. Arms up. Can I like run straight through him? Yeah. Someone's getting chained. Did anyone get chained that time? I missed it if it happened. Crystal XIV's not chained right now, is he? No. Got another limit break. I'm gonna pray that he doesn't do anything funny while I fire this off. I'm gonna lay this right here. Oh my god, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. I was like, oh, I just have to worry about the pizza here, despite just establishing that we don't have to, like, we have to worry about more than the pizza. I guess I didn't think that they would, like he's attacking at the same time with his, like, arms and tail. I didn't think that use the pizza for the tail, but just, like, not do that for the arms. I like stood right under his like pounding fist. Well, at least it gave me a second chance to get the Lakeland Boots of Casting. I wish the shortcuts were better. I did the stupid. Alright, buddy, round 2. Gonna get you this time. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad there's shortcuts to begin with, but because there's like a long gap between bosses, if you die on like the last boss, it still feels like it takes forever to walk back to him. Help me. Peloton. No speed boost. Yeah, why is my dancer not using Peloton, whatever that is? Make sure, when you buy your Peloton, to access peloton.com/Synmyn to get the best price. Yeah, I forgot again. I forgot again. Get me out of here, Scoop! Get me out of here! There we go. It's gonna take me a little while to get used to the fact that, like, not everything's pizza-based now. It wasn't always pizza-based before, but it was like 90% of the time. Oh shit. My bad, guys. It's an out-of-combat exclusive move, grants 10% movement. Did that stack on top of sprint? So if you like sprint and Peloton, you're like zoom in. Nice. The movement in this game is not like that slow. It like doesn't annoy me or anything, but I do wish there were like more ways to get like a speed buff. Or like I wish there was a way to keep like sprint around longer, you know? Peloton is a roll ability tied to range DPS. But I'm range DPS, I don't have it. Takes a long time for me to make a full circle. I'm a caster DPS. Oh my god, there's a distinction between caster and ranged. I didn't know that. I thought casting was ranged. He's winding up. Ranged is physical. So like mechanists with guns, and I got chained again. Mechanists with guns and like archers and all that. Bard, dancer, mechanist. I'm gonna see if I can save up for the second level limit break. Mechanist, machinist, mechanist or machinist? One or two. Two? Machinist? Okay. Don't stand under his fist. Reminding myself to not stand under his fist. You've never heard Machinist? It's definitely a thing. I think it might be specific settings or something. I've heard it before, but I can't tell you where. I did not make that word up. I have this. I tried to use ethereal manipulation to run to the side of a party member, but it didn't work. Probably because I didn't target them in time. I probably have to specifically target one and not just cast it. You must target the party member. Shikamaru going like, what a pain. Here come the fists. Oh, went too far that time. It's clicking on their name in the party window. I need to move the party window somewhere like closer to where I'm clicking. And Alice's here too. I love when they run in at the last second. Do any of this Lakeland shit help me? Nah. Ulminster switch has ended.
It's releasing its ether. Fall back.
Ether.
We cannot let it touch us. Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw.
He's gonna like absorb it into his like rock candy body or something. Something's weird about this guy.
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern.
He's gonna slurp it up.
The eternal light
Like a
of
high
these
C.
creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether, relinquished by its predecessor.
Close.
Now we have a way to contain that corruption.
Oh, is it me because I'm like from a physical body from another world?
The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you.
Something, you're the chosen one. It's Jesus. Faye, I have a question. When Jesus died, did he have like a vision of like every sin that was ever going to happen in the past and future? Is that like a thing that's described in the Bible? We were talking about this on the way to Olive Garden yesterday, and we were like, is that a thing that's in the Bible? Jakub was like, yeah, when Jesus died, he had a vision of every sin ever committed, past and present and future, happening, and then he was like, I forgive you. It's not told from Jesus' perspective. It's written by 200 different guys.
The monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
And then translated 1,000 times. Sometimes by governments that wanted their population to behave a certain way. Sometimes by Nazis. Sometimes they removed chapters that didn't, you know, put Jesus in the best light. The Crystal Tower. So they said it's the same Crystal Tower, they just like moved it. They took Bikini Bottom and pushed it somewhere else. I can't make out the lyrics quite yet. I need to hear like a clearer version of it. They're like, oh my god, it's dark. I've never seen that.
It's so beautiful.
These stars in the sky are like tiny little gumdrops.
The warrior of darkness has come.
Okay, are the Are the shards like different planets in the same plane, or are they like totally different planes? I'll get a cutscene about that, because I'm wondering like what all these other stars in the sky are. If they're implying that this is the last holdout of the entire like plane.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
He did have a cutscene where he like showed like the 8 previous planes, like they were represented as spheres and then they like sucked into the main one. He did show me that. I don't know if that elucidated all.
Who are you people?
He said there's no, he said there's 8 that's fallen. There's the source, and then there's the 13 shards or whatever. And then there were the 8 that fell that were tied to the calamities, right? And that this one is like perilously close to being the 9th.
You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true.
The legends. The legend.
My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment?
Where have I heard this song before? Isn't this like a Stormblood theme?
For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Light Warden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night.
You always viewed it like the multiverse. See, that's what I thought. But the presence of other stars in the sky, now that it's night, is like confusing me a little bit, because I thought like the whole plane was collapsing. And like, if this is the only place it exists in the plane, then even if it's nighttime, there wouldn't be other stars. I'm definitely overthinking
Without
it.
the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete.
I don't know, maybe stars are reflections from other planes in this world. Who cares?
Though darkness has fallen here,
They don't have to over-explain
the
it.
other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains.
That is very like clearly like Milky Way, kind of Milky Way-like.
Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But, be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will.
Another question, if it's not a spoiler. The source is the world Eorzea, right? Is it like actually special in some way to be called the source, or is it just called that because like it's our home world in the game, so for us it's special? Or I'm like wondering if it's equal to the other shard reflections. Well, I feel like if the other worlds collapsing return to the original, then that does mean it's like special. Okay.
I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed. But for the present,
The original before the split.
I beg you stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the wardens and restore darkness to the first.
This is baseless, but I've had a little story in my head because I've been thinking about like what I want the story for my game to be, and if there might be a similar thing going on here where the split, maybe I'll find out later. Maybe this is like deep Shadowbringer stuff, maybe this is like Endwalker stuff. I feel like the split was probably like intentional to contain something or stop something, right? Like too much power in one place, or the nature of all things in one place, like intentionally have to be like separated to stop something or someone. And I will say the Asians do seem pretty it seems like they want to egg on the calamity, so it seems like they're trying to return everything to the source for some reason. So for some reason, maybe the Asians were stopped by someone. I'm like speculating the hell out of my ass right now, but I feel like that makes sense. It sounds like a glorious adventure. Oh, he's back there. Look at that guy.
On behalf of the First, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I saw him, don't worry. I saw him.
I understand there is much at stake here, XR, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
It is funny that he was just like back there though.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
Who are you? Who are you?
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll.
The events of the day.
Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories,
I don't know
too painful to recall.
anything about your appearance except that your chin isn't very wrinkled.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin-Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
I keep wanting to put an L in there. I keep wanting to say the Crystallarium. It's not the Crystallarium. The stars are fake. It's like an in-game lore explanation for a skybox. How quickly you have justified my faith in you. So many lives saved, and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle, perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. I like how they still say, like, Eorzea time up here in the corner, even though I'm not there. Crystarium. Crystarium? Crystarium. Crystallarium. It's where we grow the crystals. You take a string and you suspend it in a solution of water with sugar dissolved in it. And then over time you grow the crystals. And then you eat them and they're yummy. As far as how we proceed from here. You ever make rock candy at home? Nope, it's really easy. It takes time though. You have to let it sit there for a long time. The villagers we evacuated earlier have arrived safely in the Crystarium. They seem to be accepting the situation for the moment. Most folk are far too distracted by the sky to worry about ruins or lost homes. They whisper and wonder if the warrior of darkness has come. 'Tis to be expected. Ryugo, I have a favor to ask of you. Would you be so kind as to conceal your involvement in this endeavor for the time being? It's a cover-up. I'm conspiring. Seeing the light recede from Lakeland is a momentous occasion. Many will be swept up in a maelstrom of excitement and confusion. All we did in homeschool was pray to God. What else would you do? Collusion! They're colluding! Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. It's when Corvids are involved. Should you come forth as the legendary warrior of darkness, I fear that, no matter how good your intentions, such an appearance would throw the city into disarray. It was like that one time that Tony Hawk visited Boone and the whole town fell into chaos. I find myself in agreement with the Exarch, although my concerns are far more focused on Ilmore. The Exarch is paying hush money with campaign funds. It may be best if you maintain a low profile until we see how Va 3 responds to all of this. Oh yeah, let's go kill him. Dude, let's go kill that guy. My thanks. Though we cannot freely celebrate your success. Pray allow your heart to be buoyed by the joy of our citizens. The joy you surely brought into being. And I must ask the same of discretion of you, Captain. 'Tis my intention to share with our people the tale of the great warrior who stood in defiance of the Sin Eaters. This unnamed champion defeated the Light Warden, and has since departed for parts unknown, yes? Are they gonna, like, posthumously and retroactively give the Warrior of Darkness, like, credit for all this stuff? Because that's kinda cool as though. As you wish, my lord. Your penchant for mystery is nothing new, and I will encourage folk not to question this either. I forget, did they give him a title, like a name, or do I just have the title? Be right back. She activated her infinite reels domain, and I must endure. Yep. I get the turtles. I get a lot of turtle reels. I expect to be told the whole truth of it one day, about all of you. They're cute turtles. I enjoy the turtles. With that settled, I shall return to the Christarium, make an address to the people. These explanations and adjustments will consume much of my time, so pray take the opportunity to rest and recover from your exploits. And to think, you'll not even need to shutter the windows to enjoy a dark and peaceful night's sleep. I mean, I'll keep my blackout curtains closed regardless, thank you very much, but yeah. I must stay behind and coordinate the evacuation of the remaining survivors. I hesitate to ask after all you've done here today, but could I ask you to pass on a message on your way to the pendants? Please let Baragi know that we're bringing in a number of injured, and that any restoratives in the markets need to be reserved for the infirmary. The restoratives. I'm trying to remember, when I played yesterday, they used a term for the place where, like, Alphino and I took showers. It was like the delousing room or something. We should start making our way back to the Christarium. Slowly, mind you. We wouldn't need to arrive too soon after the XIV. I'm staying as well. There's something I need to check on in Holminster. Already went through the village top to bottom, Alice. We should take all the chance to rest, you included. I knew one of the eaters and I just can't rest, not now. So please, I wish to be left alone for a while. And that means you as well, Rugo. I shall be cross if you try to follow me. I promise to find you later, when I feel myself again. Just you and me then? Shall we? Quest accepted. Speak with Alphino in the Christarium. Good stuff. Is the Infinite Tsukuyomi just a domain expansion that's on everyone? The Docile Gate. You're back? You're back. Did you escape the Infinite Tsukuyomi? Well, the Christarium seems relatively ordered, wouldn't you say? The Exarch's speech must have been reassuring to hear. On the contrary, there's something jubilant in the air. I have a feeling this night won't be quite as peaceful as our hooded friend predicted. I think I shall take a brief stroll around town before retiring to my chambers. Once you've discharged your duty to Bragi, I suggest you do the same. Sleep well, Ryugo. I hope untroubled dreams find you and Elisei both. I'm so strong that my domain doesn't enclose, so you were able to break her domain from the outside. Something about the term domain expansion is just inherently funny. And no, I will not elaborate. How long did it take you to get caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen? Aye, what can I do for you? Looking to buy a lantern like every other stumbling soul in the city? Everyone... The lanterns. I should have invested in lanterns before, like, this event happened. It's insider trading. Let's see. Well, Captain Lena can rest assured that any potions I spot coming in will be set aside for the wounded. Hang on a moment. If you're carrying messages for the guard, does that mean you were there then? The battle at Holminster? A stalwart lad like you might want to pay a visit to Wandering Stairs. Make himself known. I'm sure Glenard can introduce you to some interesting opportunities. You read 63 chapters a day? You read almost all of Boruto in one day. Like, each day. You read, like, 60% of a Boruto a day. Glenard Gleamoy, actor from Mr. Sprock. Yeah, we're in deep, like, Glup Shadow territory with the names again. We were in, like, fake Japan names for a while, but now we're totally back on Glup Shadow. The anime leaves off on chapter 136, and the manga is only on 263. Like, kind of halfway. Did you pick up where the anime leaves off, or did you read from the beginning? Sail up. More beer for table 2, and a couple of pints of meat for table 3 while you're at it. Coming right up. Oh, this guy. Sorry, we're rushed. We're rushed off our feet this evening, sir. Can I get you anything? Drinks around the house. Oh, that Bragi has a twisted sense of humor. To think he'd send you to me at a time like this. So, are the restoratives alcohol? You only read 63 chapters on the last day. Gotcha. The first real night in your 100 years has folk riled up and then some. What's more, that there was the eater business at Holminster Switch. They say a light warden was destroyed without a damn trace, and that it was the warrior of darkness who did the deed. I must really apologize for Glenn. It's been almost as rowdy as our customers, and that's no small feat. That's big feat. A lot of our regulars are bounty hunters, you see. They mostly go after eaters, and the rumor of the warrior's appearance was to spark to their kindling. You know how the weak eaters are drawn to the strong ones, right? They swarm like angry bees around a queen. Look no further than Holminster for proof of that. But attacks on that skill don't happen every day. Praise the blessed shadow. No, the more common threats are the strays. No one knows why, but every now and then, an eater who will leave the pack to prowl alone. Those are the ones you run into on the road if your luck is foul. They're a danger to everyone, so the settlement council put bounties on their heads. The bar here is a convenient place for hunters to gather and share information. Seems a few of them were inspired by the warden slaying even more than most. These are the types who have their sights set on the absolute worst of the strays, a class dubbed the Cardinal Virtues. Isn't that literally what they're called in Bayonetta 2? The Virtues showed up out of nowhere about 3 summers ago, and when historians heard the descriptions given by survivors, well, they apparently share an appearance with the villains who caused the flood. If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, they've also reported to be as tough as light wardens, not the kind of prey you take down single-handed. It's gonna be like raids or something. Our virtue hunters had all but given up, but knowing the Word of Darkness is out there, it's lit a fire in their bellies. Just look at them. Just look at how worked up and motivated this guy is. That Hume over there with the oversized sword is a grandson. He's in it for revenge. Want to recruit a comrade in arms as tenacious as he is. The Mistel lad is Lurek. Don't be fooled by those dewy cheeks. He's as hard as a hunter as they come. He's just lost a partner and seems to be on the lookout for a new one. Welcome to Roll Quests. What? That's Serg. Where does he seek an expert in magecraft to help fight the virtue he's after? Last we have Jyat, dwarf and drunkard both. Wanted to join forces with a healer, and only a healer. Something about needing a mender's wisdom. Our assortment of killer twinks and token dwarf. Yeah. I've seen my share of competent veterans, and you have that look about you. Maybe you should introduce yourself to one of our hunters? Who knows, together you might even collect the bounty on a cardinal virtue. Now there's a grand idea. Imagine the prestige my bar would earn if we had boasted the patronage of a successful virtue hunter. You've gained access to World Quest, a separate quest line, and the story is now available for tank, physical DPS, magical range DPS, and healer roles. In order to reach the final stages of the Shadowbringers main scenario, you must complete at least one role quest line. Speak with a virtue hunter at the Wandering Stairs to accept a quest offer. Well, that sounds mandatory. I guess I'll talk with, pick your twink. Hollow Pursuits. I'll accept it now, but I probably won't do it right now. You got the SSL sorted for the Jellyfin server? Let me pull the address back up and give it a quick little test. You sent me the, oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. http:// that address that I will not repeat right now. Oh, you got the SSL, so the HTTPS should work. It looks like it's working. I need a username and a password, but I was able to connect, it looks like. So going forward, there are no job quests. Instead, there's one quest line for each role. You will need to complete one full quest line by the end of the expansion. Okay. I think I did. I think I did all of the Black Mage stuff that was available. You're standing in front of Sareg, bounty hunter non-pariah. Because you have a mind, aid me in the... This guy talks weird, I can't wrap my head around it. Do I have the right of it? Or do I have the right of it? From what's his? What is Jellyfin? It's a video streaming platform that you can basically upload your own library to, and then share it with other people. It's like Plex, but maybe better. Yeah. If I didn't know, I could have sworn you just suggested that you're unfamiliar with Phronescence, but that couldn't be. No sinner worth his salt could be so ignorant. Not your run-of-the-mill stray sin-eater. He's one of the nastiest Roma's ever seen. Formed the remains of one of those God's damned warrior of lights. Formed from the remains, one of the warriors of light? There are 4 of them all told, crawled up from the bowels of the deepest hell after being buried for nigh on a century. So these are based off the other party members from the Warrior of Darkness? Before he was transformed into a Sin-Eater, Phronescence was none other than Archmagus Nilbert, whose baleful magics were feared the realm over. It's only been a short year since he first showed up in Aran. He's already preyed on far too many innocents with foul sorcery. Not keen on seeing their trade routes disrupted, the local merchants have placed a healthy bounty on his head. Does it have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? It's got Deep Space Nine. Of course, I'd like nothing more than to fell the Fane single-handed and claim the entire bounty for myself. It's got Dragon Tales. The circumstances dictated that I recruit a champion, or a companion. That's where you come in. Provided that you can prove to me you possess the specialized set of skills I require, I promise I'll make it worth your while. Not a bad offer, wouldn't you say? If you fancy yourself up to the task, come find me in Ar-Ra-Ra. I mean to set off from there shortly. There's Casey, Max, Zach, Wheezy. There's Org. So we'll do that later. I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to go ahead and accept it. They touch the magic rock and they go to a crazy place. And they see something on the moon that they're not supposed to see. And they're very scared about it. Welcome back, sir. I wonder if anyone can sleep with the city in such an uproar. Will you be retiring to your quarters? Yes. Very good, in light of the present situation. I had illumination prepared for all of our rooms. No need to rush to the markets for lanterns or candles. Have a pleasant rest, sir. The beautiful night sky.
So it's your lot's turn to be the warriors of darkness, is it? It's funny how things work out. Well, I did warn you. I followed you to Yulmore and then on to Armarang. And I was there when you slew the Light Warden.
You left the DK crew?
Twins who were with you.
What's the DK crew? What are you talking about?
From our battle in the Source.
It never got used? I don't even know what you're talking. It's my server? Was it? Oh my god, I forgot about that. No one's posted in there since September 10th, 2018. I like literally totally forgot about that. I think I made that just because I needed a group chat at some point and then forgot about it. Listen, I mute every Discord server. I mute every Discord server, no matter how important it is. Sometimes I will unmute specific channels, but I also never leave Discord servers. I just put them all into a folder that's like ones I don't use.
Are they your friends?
The white-haired twins.
Through thick and thin.
Personally, I don't know why I'd ever like leave one. I just drop into a folder if I never want to see it again.
Then I suggest you keep them close. It's when you charge ahead trying to save someone else that you end up losing those you love. Not that you need telling, I'll bet you've lost plenty. But I wonder, what will it cost you this time?
There's a max amount of servers you can be in. Holy shit, did you hit the limit? What is the max?
I don't remember when it was that I learned regret wasn't worth the bother.
I don't remember when it was that I learned regret wasn't worth the bother.
You get numb to it all over the years. The lost comrades, the broken promises, the abandoned principles. Just more nagging burdens to ignore.
There's no reason it would be 100 unless someone was just like, that's like a hard-coded value, like, oh, no one's ever gonna be on 100 servers. What's the limit? I guess it's 100.
The light was hiding.
Who's this? Oops.
He's here. I must go to him.
Santa Claus? Is 200 of you of Nitro? I'm pissed about how many things they lock behind Nitro. Like other themes for the desktop app, and it's too expensive. It's not worth it. Like, I want to do these things, but it's not worth $12 a month. Or whatever it is.
Intruders! Fan out and find them!
Justinian?
Out of my way!
Non-lethal damage.
Stay your weapon. We are not your enemy.
I just think it costs way too much money, and they put features that would, like, normally be basic options on most services, like, locked behind it, because they know people will pay for it. The file size restriction I get, because they can actually be extremely costly to host big files like that and just allow people to send whatever. But, like themes and profile banners and shit should not be locked behind Nitro.
When the alarm sounded, I wondered what we had done to betray our presence. But I see now we are not the only intruders. Sir Estinian, I presume. The dragoon who plucked the warrior of light from the jaws of death. Your armor is most distinct.
I would pay $2 a month at most for what they're offering. Like, the fact that it's like $12 is completely fucking absurd.
Much as yours once was. But even without it, I see your former legator still has eyes and ears in unexpected places. Van Baelsar, in the flesh. Though I understand you prefer Shadow Hunter.
You are in contact with the Scions, I take it.
You don't know how people live without emotes. I just don't use... Like, I see other people use it, and I'm like, wow, it's really sad I'm not gonna use that because I don't want to shell out $12 a month to, like, send, like, pee-pee happy or whatever, a smiley frog.
Through no choice of my own, they tracked me down and conscripted me to their cause. I swear their receptionist was trained as a spy. Not that anyone can escape that Baldessian woman once she has caught the scent of your ether.
I don't blame anyone for paying for Discord, because I know everyone who does that I know, like, actually uses it a lot and at least gets the most out of it. But I still think it's really fucking overpriced. In upsetting how much they lock behind it.
If they have resorted to using freelancers, I must assume their attempts to wake the afflicted have failed. And what of their champion?
Away on other business. Thus, it has fallen to me to root out any trace of the Empire's new weapon.
Who is that guy? Is that just one of his friends?
If it is Black Rose you seek, you are too late. My people have already completed your mission here. Yet this is but one factory among many. When they caught wind of our efforts, they built additional facilities to ensure production continues unabated.
Are all the updates on, like, what's happening in Eorzea or the source gonna be, like, just meanwhiles and then you go to cutscenes? Like, am I gonna go back there, or am I in Navrant for all of Shadowbringers? I guess you're not gonna tell me, I'm just wondering.
Lands they conquer. No citizens to conscript, no skills to exploit, nothing the Empire needs. And they will call it victory.
Like, I can go back and forth, they established that, but I felt like that was more for player convenience rather than story.
What exactly does this Black Rose do?
Kills you.
The gas is described as a poison. its actual effect is more arcane.
Kills you, kills you, kills you. He's got a powerful jawline.
It was created to disrupt the ether in living beings, to bring the flow of their life energies to a standstill. Inhaling even the tiniest amount will cause all bodily functions to cease, much as a potent venom will stop a man's heart. Released
Kinda, yeah.
Black Rose could
A little bit.
kill every inhabitant, and all without damaging a single structure.
He looks like an 80s movie star. Like a Stallone
Search
type.
every corner. Rouse the barracks if you have to. I want this facility secured.
I have more questions, but now is not the time.
It's
Sir Estinian, I have an offer for you, but I will make it only once.
I'm glad they did it, but it's so weird to me that they brought him back.
Since it would seem we seek the same answers, you are welcome to join us.
Like, they've retroactively made him a more interesting character, because in A Realm Reborn he was just like, who? What? Why? I don't know, he just, like, seemed like a one-off, like,
You need all the help you can get.
I'm evil, and then you kill him, and then that's it. That's what it felt like in A Realm Reborn.
In case you don't know, Varys himself confessed that your empire was a creation of the Ascians.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't think there was a bigger part of that. Like, I'm really happy about this. I like that he's, like, becoming a bigger character in the background. I just would have never guessed in a million years they would have brought him back.
Aware of what his radiance said at the party. Thus I would return to the capital, that I might behold the truth of this corruption with my own eyes. My path leads to Garlemald.
Like, I'm just saying, like, him returning was not on my bingo card. It's really cool, though. An unwelcome guest. Let me see. I think I'm gonna pause Final Fantasy here, take a quick BRB, and switch to Mega Man. I've read a lot of dialogue today. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Be back in a couple minutes, don't go anywhere, it's gonna be Mega Man.